Before we get started, I want to try to answer these 3 questions. So how much honey is this going to make? I can't tell you exactly. I don't know how long you're going to cook yours down. I also don't know the size of the watermelon that you're going to use. I used 2 of these seedless watermelons, and I cooked mine on high heat for about an hour and a half, and it gave me roughly 8 ounces. What's the calorie count? Again, I can't tell you that. I don't know how long you're going to cook yours, if yours is going to be, more liquid than mine, if yours is going to be more solid than mine. That's going to affect, of course, the calorie count. A serving size of this is roughly a tablespoon, and depending on how long you let yours cook down is going to affect that. So how long do you need to cook it? This stuff burns really easily, so you really need to stand over it and babysit it. I cook mine on high heat for about an hour and a half, but I highly suggest you cook yours at a medium simmer, and that can take up to 3 hours. Anyway, let's get into it. This is so simple, nothing complicated here. You basically just take your watermelon, however much of it you have, and just cut it up. Cut it into pieces. Of course, we're only going to be using the red parts, and I just chopped mine up into small little chunks like this because we're going to be putting it into a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, a blender is going to be absolutely fine. So I worked in 2 batches here because I had a lot of watermelon. I put it into my Ninja here, and then I'm just going to process this until it is nice and liquidy. Then I just strained it through a fine mesh strainer right into the pot that I'm going to actually be cooking it in. You want to take a wooden spoon or spatula, something like that, and just kind of move it around. Make sure you get out any little seed particles and any solid pieces that didn't get all blended up in your blender. This is going to make it smoother and give you a much better texture. It's still going to have a little bit of a texture when you cook it down, but this is going to help smooth it out a whole lot. Now that we have all of our juice in our pot, just give it a good stir just to get it started. Like I said earlier, I cooked mine over high heat, but I sincerely recommend that you simmer yours on a medium heat. Now you see all this stuff around the edge there. Once this has cooked down a little bit, I take a silicone scraper and I do scrape all of that down into the juice. And then just give it a good stir. You want to make sure that you keep this stirred up. As it cooks down further and further, you will see more of that stuff sticking to the side of your pot. As it begins to cook down, as you scrape the sides of the pot, you're going to see it getting thicker and thicker. Just keep on cooking. It's going to get a lot more thicker than this. So after a while, you can see this looks kind of like tomato soup. If you can get it to this tomato soup stage, you can stop right now, let it cool, and pour it into your container. If you want it to be a little bit more thicker like jam, just keep on cooking it. You can see how it kind of makes a little rut across the pan as I'm scraping it with this scraper here. Keep on cooking it if you want it even thicker. The more you cook it, the thicker it's going to get once it's past that initial tomato soup stage. I'm pretty happy with mine the way it is, so now I'm going to put it into this little 8-ounce jar. I really like these because you see the little latch there, and it also has that little rubber seal around it. You can get these at Walmart over in the canning section. How would you use this? This is my favorite way to put it on Greek yogurt. Just plain Greek yogurt with a spoonful of this. You can put it on cottage cheese, you can put it on ice cream, biscuits, toast, what have you. Now we're outside and look how vibrant and red that is. And you only used watermelon. Look down in the description box and in a pinned comment, and I'll have the actual recipe written down there for you.